Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project Magnetic Reversal News. Shinrin Yoku and Yurt Life bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, January 5th, around 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. Record cold coming to Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest for the second week of January. It is going to break records going back maybe since records have been kept. And record snow for the U.S. coming for January as well. Keep calm. It's boom time. Winter storm Ember to bring snow to the east this weekend. In fact, the snow will range from the Ohio Valley to the northeast like a beast. Winter storm forecast to hit the northeast, mid-Atlantic with heavy snow and potentially dangerous ice. A substantial winter storm is set to hit much of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic this weekend. The worst of the weather expected Saturday and Sunday. That will be their fun day. Sunday's snowstorm, an all-day event in Maine. It's insane where heavy snow is expected. The totals coming up in just a moment. At least 6 inches of snow possible in parts of New Hampshire with this weekend's storm. And the new projected snowfall totals for New England, specifically Manhattan, Long Island here. Brand new snowfall projections have been released for the massive nor'easter due to arrive in the middle of the weekend as some uncertainty remains about possible totals farthest south in New York. Yeah, it could go either way. It's one of those nor'easters. Let's take a look at the snowfall totals. Holy macaroni. Before we get to the snowfall totals, let's take a look at the forecast. Winter storm to impact the east, powerful system moving into the west. Storms in the south. Alaska storm this weekend. Heavy mountain snow and coastal rain continues across the west coast. For the south, strong thunderstorms, heavy rain and flash flooding will be possible through Saturday. A winter storm is on tap this weekend for the east coast. Heavy snow, freezing rain, and flooding will be possible. Hazardous travel conditions are likely. Meanwhile, a series of strong storms continue to impact Alaska. Take a look at the winter storm warnings and watches across the U.S. It's epic, just like the olden days. And let's take a look at those snowfall totals. They are looking epic as well. Here is Saturday through Sunday. That will be your fun day. And you can see the storm moving into the west and moving up the east coast like the most. Again, just like I said before, that rain and snow line is going to be in the southeastern or in the northwestern suburbs of Philadelphia. And that's why it's getting pretty critical for Long Island as well. Typical nor'easter, where just beyond a certain line, 50 miles inland, you get a foot of snow. And it's looking like that's lining up. Heavy snow moving down to the Pacific Northwest, 2 feet in Washington and Oregon in the high elevations, about 16 inches for some of the Sierras through Sunday. And then a system will be moving in the Four Corners region. Take a look at this, dumping heavy snow in the southern mountains and moving east for a second wallop, on the east coast as well as New England. Take a look at the heavy snow totals coming for Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. It's insane. And these models keep showing system after system as we move into January. Could be an epic month for winter precipitation, and we need it in the west. Look at these totals, literally tilting the west coast. It may break off with these totals. Shut up, Al! Al Gore is very upset. Thank God he's in his hole or in a glacier. Now let's talk about those record colds. This plume is going to be dipping down starting as early as January 10th into Canada, 11th. Here is the 12th. Holy macaroni. By the 12th, most of Western Canada is going to be in extreme warnings. Take a look at some of these lows. Minus 48. I've never seen it that low in recent years. And without wind chill, that could be devastating. This is going to be a sustained event. Here's the 13th. Here's the 14th. Holy macaroni. Minus 50 potentially for Idaho and maybe Western Montana. That is crazy. Here's the 15th and into the 16th. It will moderate, and the country as a whole, we could see another iguana apocalypse here at the end of the month. Watch this plume come down here starting on the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, And the entire country is going to be below freezing, every single state, by January 17th. And that could be that iguana apocalypse that we're warning about. Although there is some more cold that moves down in the late models here for January 20th, with freezes all the way down into central Florida. And those iguanas will be falling from trees like ripe cherries. How do you like them apples? I love the white meat. Global temperatures take a dip. Heavy snow shuts down southern Norway, and nor'easter looms. And plus, there's 4 new papers that find Arctic ice is doing just fine. Take a look at this car in Norway. Yeah, the most snow in decades. And it is pretty insane. What happened here? We just lost the whole article. Let me get to it. Heavy snow shuts down southern Norway. Accompanying the Nordics region's record-breaking low temperatures this week has been heavy disruptive snow and record-breaking low temperatures. Temperatures continue to take names Thursday morning, with Finland posting its coldest January reading since 2006 at minus 42.3 C. Nearby in Sweden, Greta Thunberg's boyhood home kept up with the all-time record low set the day prior, and all with 43.2 C below zero. Holy macaroni. Norway's cold is one thing, but the snow is proving something else entirely. And we did show that picture of the car with 4 feet of snow. Holy macaroni. Let's take a look at this. That is insane. Oh, it's not even going to be here. Oh, they did it to us. Clickbait. Let's open the image and see if we can do it. There it is. Wow. Now that is 6 foot of snow on a car. Hardy har har. Okay, and look at this entire bank of cars buried in Norway. One of the worst snowstorms in quite some time, according to many. Let's scroll down here. Cap Alon is amazing. Take a look at this graphic. They found in this paper here, Andresen et al. In 2023, a recent study by Julia R. Andresen and colleagues looked at the changes in ice shelves and Antarctica-wide, that's the entire continent, using MODIS, which is Moderate Resolution Imaging Spectroradiometry, and satellite data from 2009 to 2019. And they found that during that period, from 2009 to 2019, Antarctic ice shelf area grew by 5,305 square kilometers. That would be the blue regions. Now, the red areas where most of the melting is happening here on the West Coast, not this region, but most of the melting is underlain by over 1,000 subsurface volcanoes underneath the ice sheet. So what do you think's happening there? I'm just saying. So check out Electroverse, Cap Alon's Electroverse, electroverse.info, and you'll get the boom of a lifetime. Finland's extreme cold freezes even boiling water thrown into the air. Well, it is minus 42 degrees C, for goodness sakes. Finland's record low temperatures this week inspired a tourist on a trip to the Arctic to try a trick that had long intrigued him, throwing boiling water into the air when it's extremely cold outside. And guess what you get? You get what you get. A tiny little picture that needs to be blown up a whole bunch in low resolution. Thank you for the low res. But we've done this outside here, and it is going to get cold here in just a few days, maybe minus 15, and it's cold enough to do that. Fahrenheit, minus 15 Fahrenheit, which is very cold in centigrade. So we're going to be doing this trick maybe in just about 10 days. Seismic update, no quakes of note. Some interesting quakes, including one up here, 2.6 in Madison, Ohio. We did have a rumbler on the West Coast that many fearmongers were claiming was a pre-shock to the big one, but just a 4.2 west of Lytle Creek in California, right near LA. Overall, pretty quiet day seismically. Worldwide volcano news update, very little to report on today. Liwatobi, I like to say that, 10,000 foot puff. Fuego to 17,000 feet, We've got Swanosima to 6,000, Ulawan to 9,000 feet today. What else do we got here on the list? Santa Huito, 19,000 feet. Semeru, puffing to 14,000. Fuego to 16. Popo to 19. Nevado de Ruiz, no volcanic ash. Liwa Tobi to 9,000. And Gamalama Ding Dong volcano in Hamalamalera, Indonesia. Increased seismic activity. This is a very pointy cinder cone. Probably only goes at VEI 1 or 2. Not a worry. There is a worry on the Reykjanes Peninsula of an imminent eruption as we keep a close eye on seismicity. The last 24 hours showed low-level seismic activity across the dike region and near Kreisuvik volcano, where that seismic activity occurred the other day. Keeping a close eye on Grindavik tremor. There was a peak just moments ago, but it has dropped off. I thought that was an imminent eruption, much higher than the last tremor during the last eruptive phase just a few weeks ago. And Kreisuvik as well, peaking but dropping off. So no imminent eruption based on any of the data. Space Weather News outlook. The sun has gone quiet over the last 48 hours, completely silent. The latest HMI intensity shows the breakdown of all the sunspots to almost pinpricks across the disk. Now, this is the region that brought those X-flares. Clearly not a candidate for an X-flare any longer. In fact, X-flare potential is less than 5% at this time. So the only thing that could be potentially geoeffective is coronal hole 89, which could bring some instability to the crust on Earth. During the next 24 to 48 hours, we could be looking at a moderate uptick in seismic activity, but yet we see nothing. Now here, take a look at these facts. We're looking at OSI and the NSIDC Arctic Sea Ice Minimum Data Set. And this is from 2007 to present, where you can see the present data set where we are at a 20-year Arctic ice high, literally leaving the graph. And, well, the mainstream is silent on this one. But what you can see is for the since 2007 to present, there has been no catastrophic ice loss in the Arctic. This is the minimum amount of ice, the least amount. And here is the data points. The current minimum is off the graph. So, how do you like them apples? We're going to be talking about this tomorrow on our radio program and get demonetized later at night on Magnetic Reversal News when we put the video up. Global warming may trigger global cooling. And that is going to be the title. They used this shtick back in the 70s. Warning signals of a new ice age, the breakdown of the jet stream, the meridional flow, and the fact that cold air was coming down into the south was a new thing, and it was triggering a cooling world. There are ominous signs that the Earth's weather patterns have begun to change dramatically, and that these changes may portend a drastic decline in food production, with serious political implications for just about every nation on Earth. Sound familiar? The drop in food output could begin quite soon, perhaps only 10 years from now. The regions destined to feel its impacts are the great wheat-producing lands of Canada and the USSR in the north, along with a number of marginally self-sufficient tropical areas. Parts of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indochina, and Indonesia, where the growing season is dependent upon the rains brought by the monsoon. And that is a monsoon boom. The evidence in support of these predictions has now begun to accumulate so massively that meteorologists are hard pressed to keep up with it. Now, a study released last month by 2 NOAA scientists notes the amount of sunshine reaching the ground in the continental U.S. has diminished by 1.3%. We are headed into an ice age. Well, actually, we went into solar max and global warming. But you can hear all about it tomorrow on Revolution Radio Studio B, 12 noon Mountain Time. And that's a boom to knowledge. Thanks for watching the video. Please share this video as it is free and it helps with the algorithm. Be safe. We love you. And that's a boom. Become a Patreon. Support all the work we do. Watch everything commercial free in one place. And remember when they told us 15 years ago, there would be no more snow, and now this. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole.